All right, let's start. Let's quickly set up our practice server and then connect through SSH and start practicing. All right, so launch instance. This time, let us launch two instances, server, Linux server. We are going to be transferring files from one server to another server. So let us launch two servers. So here we'll come to R2 there. And then we say use our regular heap here class heap here and then launch. Okay, so that is launching. What do we need from here to set up SSH? I said two servers. All right, so we'll click that and then we say public IP address, and then we'll go to what's the SSH client called? Mobile extent. Mobile. Okay, so session SSH public IP address with the user. EC2, and then our keep here, class keep. All right, we have everything set up. That is fine. Okay, so let's continue with this. Well, we need the second one, we also set up the second one here, but we already have that set up in class. All right, so what are we doing today? Let's call up the notes so we know where we are. Okay, so we are doing package installation. All right, that's simple. All right, guys. So we want to do package installation. What do we mean by package installation? So Linux is more like an engine. Linux as a network operating system is like an engine. So what does that mean? That means that it is open, and of course it's open source. It's open for adaptation. You can literally connect any package to Linux. So what I'm saying is, just like you have an engine, the engine of your car, you can connect your radiator, you can connect your Kickstarter and every other thing that you'd assemble to form the car. So is Linux, all right? It is the engine that runs the system. So for example, you want to now convert your server, that is the system, the virtual machine running the operating system. You want to convert it to web server so that when you place a web page on that server, it will be available to the whole world. So what you do is you install that package that is responsible for converting the server to a web server, right? So that's an example. Another example would be you have a Linux system and you are practicing everything we have done so far, but you are not able to do what they call file transfer, for example. Not file transfer as a protocol, as a service, FTP service, not necessarily copying and pasting. So you would need to install the appropriate service, the appropriate package that will convert that Linux server and make it become an FTP server. For example, you want your Linux server to be NTP server to all other computers on the network. You will need to install. So there are thousands of different packages, and that's essentially what we've been doing in DevOps. We've been installing packages like Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible. These are different packages performing different functions, but it is the same Linux engine, the same Linux server that is doing all of that. You can literally run thousands of different packages. In other words, make your Linux server perform thousands of different functions. This server, that server, print server, database server, that server, all of them, because you are applying and installing and configuring the appropriate package. All right. So that's what package is. It is that additional service that you put on your Linux operating system so that your server now have the capacity and capability to perform in that new role. All right. For example, we are going to install one or two services here so that you see what we mean when we say we install package and then we have turned our Linux operating system to. Please put your question down. We'll take it later. Let me just continue with this flow. All right. So what will happen now is that let us install package. So to install a package, there are thousands of them. Let's install 1, 2, 3. The command for Linux operating system. When I say Linux, I actually mean like the Red Hat part of Linux, because there's the other popular distribution, the other popular distro of Linux called Ubuntu, which we'll be using more often after this. All right. So for Red Hat, the command is yum install. Then what package do you want to install? That's it. Yum install. Then you put the name of the package and that's it. But usually before you even install package on a brand new Linux operating system, the first thing you want to do is to say yum update. All right. Update. You want to install. So there is something called repository. That is the list of all services that are available within Linux operating system. So the first thing you want to do now is to say, Linux, go fetch the latest version of all the possible services that are compatible with you. Go fetch them and get them ready with you. All right. We say yum update and then we'll press enter. All right. You need to be root to be able to perform any of these tasks. So let's get used to doing sudo. But never mind, even if you forget, it always remind. All right. So it's either to be root, it's either we say sudo su and become root, or we stay as EC2 but use sudo along the command. All right. So let's not be scared of being root. We have the liberty now, so let's explore this. So it will be, now that we are root, we could do yum update, and then it would ask you, are you sure you want to update? These are the possibilities. 6 packages for update and so on and so forth. You always say yes. Y for yes. All right. So the system is updating its repository, its list of services. Most of them will be running in the background as demo, but everything is upgraded now. If you want, you can see the list of all of the services available. All right. But before then, let's first install. All right. So if you wanted to automate the system so that you don't have to provide the answer yes for any installation, you could just do yum update, then you just provide the answer -y, so that it will not ask you that question, do you want to continue? When it comes to that question, it will just take y for itself and continue. All right. So we'll be using y most of the time so that we don't have to answer that. So yum update -y will tell you, oh, I just completed an update. There's nothing more to update. So we are up to date. All right. You wanted to remove a particular package, you could do that. Then sometimes as well, not often, you may also, sometimes because you are going to run, naturally you run into issues in IT. It's not like
hello,
sometimes,
sir.
yeah.
I'm sorry to bother you. Can you come again with that? I missed the pattern.
Yeah, so let's continue. Once the flow broke, I will miss so many things that I really want to pass across. It's about the last class. Yeah. So just let me flow so I can give you as much as possible. All right. So yum update, you could also do yum upgrade. It's not like an option, but sometimes it is necessary to upgrade the entire system. Upgrade. So update will just fetch the services to your repository so that you have the latest, but upgrade is like what it means, upgrade. Well, it's not all the time. Occasionally you have issues that your Linux cannot resolve because you need to upgrade the versions of the services, not the operating system, not Linux itself. All right. But just know this, occasionally we'll be needing it to solve issues, to resolve issues. Sometimes you are putting one command, you are trying, things are not just working. But once you upgrade and you get the latest version of that specific service, everything just works. And all right. So these are powerful commands, but the update you would need regularly.